here's your wrestling news for April 1st, 2021. And if you like what you're watching, smash that like button and give us 1,000 likes or more. And your headlines for today include interesting creative pitch for Alexa Bliss in Bray Wyatt storyline, why Alexa Bliss's ex-boyfriend Murphy reached out to her, yet another notable exit from WWE, WWE superstar confirms they have retired, WWE edits famous DX segment from Peacock, AEW star receives stitches after tonight's Dynamite, Charly Caruso details about her relationship with WWE, William Regal told WWE to fire him, Jim Cornette continues to relentlessly bury Tony Khan, Triple H invited Andrade to come back to WWE NXT, WWE wrestler was upset backstage when someone took photo of her while changing, Edge on Christian signing with AEW, and more. We're starting today with news from Alexa Bliss, who's gone on quite the transformation over the past year into a disciple of The Fiend, and now the former Raw Women's Champion may undergo a visual change. According to sources for Ringside News, an idea has been pitched for Bliss to don a mask similar to The Fiend, though it's unknown how long ago this idea was pitched. What we do know is that one pitch was for her to debut the mask at the Royal Rumble, but that obviously didn't happen. The source in WWE added that they wouldn't be surprised if Bliss dons a Fiend mask herself, saying that the company is always looking at new possibilities for both her and Bray Wyatt. Nearly 4 months since being burned, Wyatt's next match will be against Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and whilst a role for Bliss hasn't been announced for the match, she could still appear with a very different look. Before her current engagement to Ryan Cabrera, Bliss was in a long-term relationship with Buddy Murphy, and it seems the pair have remained friends. On Twitter, Bliss noted that whenever she shares a workout pic, she gets texts from Murphy asking if the workout is real or just for the picture, and admitted that it's usually 50-50. Judging from Bliss's reaction, these messages from Murphy aren't malicious, and it's good that the pair can remain friends after breaking up in early 2018. It's no secret that WWE can be a stressful place to work, especially for writers answering to Vince McMahon, and now that creative team just got smaller. That's according to Ringside News, who report that Chris Dunn, who joined WWE in 2016 as a writer, has now left the company. Fans may not know Dunn by name, but they'll know his work, as he worked very closely with the Street Profits and their unique promos. WWE is on the road to WrestleMania and getting things in place for the biggest show of the year, but now they'll have to do that with one less writer on the team. One person who's still with WWE is the Brian Kendrick, but fans shouldn't expect to see him in the ring ever again. In a YouTube video, Kendrick broke the news that he's now retired, but the 41-year-old star isn't done with WWE at all. In February, it was reported that Kendrick is working as a producer for SmackDown, a role that he can now put all his time into now that he's no longer a wrestler. In his career, Kendrick held the WWE and World Tag Team titles, the Cruiserweight title, and was briefly the WWE Champion during a championship scramble match, though that reign isn't in WWE's records. Trained by Shawn Michaels in the late 90s, Kendrick has had a lengthy career that included highs and lows, and we at Slat Rock Wrestling are hoping that the man with the plan enjoys his retirement. Fans can watch Kendrick's career on the WWE Network on Peacock, which has cut another segment from WWE's past. On the July 6, 1998 Raw, DX played mind games with the Nation of Domination by parodying the latter group, and that segment is completely gone. It's hardly surprising that the segment is gone, as various levels of blackface were used, with X-Pac looking unrecognizable as Mark Henry. This is the third segment fans have seen deleted from the WWE library thanks to their move to Peacock, after the Roddy Piper Bad News Brown match from WrestleMania 6 and Vince McMahon using the N-word in 2005. A statement by both WWE and NBC Universal has said that they're reviewing all content to make sure it fits their modern-day values. And what do you make of this latest cut to the network and Peacock? Let us know in the comments. Over to AEW now, as The Pinnacle only recently formed, but they showed they mean business on last night's Dynamite. Brawling with the Inner Circle, the segment was unsurprisingly violent, and Dax Harwood knows that firsthand. After Dynamite ended, AEW shared a video of Harwood getting multiple stitches after he was cut badly on his head. If you watch the brawl, you'll know that Santana and Ortiz were covered in Harwood's blood at one point, and the FTR wrestler showed off the bloody injury on Twitter, saying, "There's one rule of gang fighting. They send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue." The Inner Circle are set to speak next week for the first time since MJF left the group, and we expect that Friedman and the rest of the Pinnacle will be listening to what they have to say very closely. Back to WWE, and this week ESPN confirmed that Charly Arnault, aka Charly Caruso, has accepted a full-time position with them, ending her tenure with WWE. Caruso had been removed from all WWE programming following claims of backstage heat, but that's not how things went according to the former WWE broadcaster herself. Speaking to TV Insider, Charly discussed the rumors of backstage heat with stars like Randy Orton and Sheamus, saying there's always going to be chatter. She added, "Everyone is going to have their own opinions. I never had any issues while I was at WWE. Nothing bad happened. As far as I'm concerned, I'm leaving on a positive note." Talking about her schedule in WWE, Charly said it was busy, saying she was often going from ESPN's First Take show straight to Raw. Now Caruso's schedule should be a bit easier to manage as she works for one company instead of two, and from how she sees it, there's no bad blood between her and WWE. Caruso's departure means she wasn't present at last week's Hall of Fame tapings, and with both the 2020 and 2021 classes being inducted, the inductees won't be around for long. Two women who have finally been inducted are the Bella twins, who had a year to prepare their induction speeches after the 2020 ceremony was canceled. Speaking on their podcast, though, the twins revealed that much of what they planned to say was cut. Brie said, "We wrote a 15-minute speech because usually they're like 10 to 15 minutes. Then we found out, no, it has to be 3 to 5 minutes. To do your Hall of Fame speech and take out that much stuff is really hard." WWE filmed the Hall of Fame ceremony last weekend, and fans will see it on April 6th, but clearly, what's said next Tuesday will only be a fraction of the stories the inductees had to tell. One person fans are eagerly awaiting to see inducted is NXT General Manager William Regal, who has an eye for talent and has helped plenty of superstars in the company. One person who's all about talent is Sasha Banks, someone Regal has known since she was 19, and the British brawler was even willing to put his career on the line for her. Speaking to the Daily Star, Regal revealed that he was so certain Banks would succeed in WWE that he told the company to fire him if she didn't become something big. Given that Banks has gone on to become one of WWE's top stars, things clearly worked out well for both her and Regal, and it's a good thing WWE listened to the British veteran. Back to AEW, and the company hasn't been able to leave Jacksonville, Florida for a year, and though we're not sure what the summer will look like, Chris Jericho doesn't plan on missing an episode of Dynamite. This week, Fozzy announced a new extensive tour which won't play any shows on Wednesday nights, meaning Chris Jericho will be free to continue working with AEW. This tour will see Jericho travel all across the United States, as the band is hoping that this amount of travel will be allowed by September. Jericho and Fozzy made headlines last October when he played at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, which was described as a super spreader event, so hopefully the AEW rockstar can avoid any more events that make the ongoing situation even worse. More from AEW, as Jim Cornette has made it clear he's not a fan and he can't stop watching or criticizing Tony Khan. In the past, he said Khan looks like a, quote, disheveled, coked-up schoolteacher who's at his wit's end about his unruly class, and that continued this week. After a fan tweeted a video of Khan on Impact plugging Dynamite, using the caption, Tony Cocaine Khan, Cornette sarcastically pretended not to recognize Khan, saying Impact must have a setup where random fans can cut promos with Tony Schiavone. This is pretty tame for what Cornette usually has to say about Khan and AEW as a whole, and we'll have to see if the AEW leader settles down in his promos, because Cornette thinks he needs some work. More from WWE, and whilst the company doesn't let Mickie James wrestle much anymore, she can still fulfill roles outside of the ring. During the bump, it was revealed that the former women's champion will join Jimmy Smith, Ara Markazi, and Sam Roberts on the kickoff show for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, meaning fans of her will still be able to find her, just not in the ring. Last month, Andrade was released from WWE, bringing to an end a tenure on the main roster that left a lot to be desired. Though he was misused on the main roster, being absent from the show since last October, Andrade was a bona fide star in NXT, even becoming NXT champion. Speaking on a media call, Andrade discussed his last call with Triple H and that an offer was made to him. He said, "Triple H told me, how about a run on NXT? I told him that I wanted an opportunity on SmackDown or Raw. I didn't want to be someone who stayed in the back complaining. I was asked for maybe a year in NXT and then return to the main roster and see how things change." That obviously didn't happen as Andrade left and doesn't have a 90-day non-compete clause, and we can only wonder if stars like Finn Balor and Ember Moon would have stayed in WWE if they hadn't moved back to NXT. In AEW, no groups are bigger than the Dark Order, and now the stable could be on the verge of adding another huge name to their ranks. Last week, John Silver unsuccessfully challenged for Darby Allin's TNT title, and after suffering an injury, he was helped to his feet by Sting. On Twitter, Silver shared some photos of their brief interaction, saying they're friends now, and teased that Sting may be joining the Dark Order soon. From the NWO Wolfpack to the Main Event Mafia, the Icon is no stranger to working in a faction, and perhaps the Dark Order will be the next group the Stinger considers family. Would you like to see Sting join the Dark Order, or is he better off sticking with Darby Allin? Let us know in the comments. As you can imagine, there's a lot of people working in WWE and a lot of people taking photos, but sometimes those photos were never meant to be taken. That's something Andrade referenced when he recently spoke to Lucha Libre Online and revealed that someone snapped a candid photo of his fiancée Charlotte Flair. He said, "She's had problems backstage. One time someone took a photo of her when she was changing. We know who, but she didn't want to say anything and WWE didn't know about it." Taking a photo of Charlotte while she's undressing is very inappropriate, and even though WWE didn't know about it, we can only hope the would-be paparazzo faces some kind of punishment if they try this again. In NXT, Walter has faced practically every big name there is to face, except for NXT champion Finn Balor. According to the Austrian himself, though, that match was meant to happen, but was derailed thanks to the ongoing global situation. It's entirely possible WWE could still have this feud now that things are seemingly getting better, and with the NXT and NXT UK champions feuding, the stakes of this feud could be the highest they've ever been. Speaking of big changes, there's been few bigger in recent years than the return of Edge and Christian joining AEW. Though many fans were disappointed to see Christian sign with AEW, hoping that we'd instead get a long-term reunion with Edge, the Rated R superstar isn't bummed out. Speaking on the Sports Illustrated Media podcast, Edge said that he wants his best friend to be happy and hopes Christian gets the respect he deserves in AEW. Adding that he too had hoped for an Edge and Christian reunion, the Rated R superstar reminded fans that their tag team had a very short tenure compared to their singles careers, and given that Edge is now challenging for the Universal title at WrestleMania, it makes sense for him to be a singles star right now. One name who won't be at WrestleMania is Becky Lynch, who hasn't been seen on WWE TV since the May 11th, 2020 edition of Raw, but that could change very soon. Last week, WWE filed a trademark for the term "Lass Kicker," which was accepted by the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office this past Tuesday. Lass Kicker is one of the names WWE used for Lynch before she became The Man, and it's certainly interesting that WWE is preparing to use the name again. Lynch gave birth to her and Seth Rollins' daughter Rue last December, but she remains on the Raw roster, and now it seems The Man could come around again very soon. And we're ending today with Raw as Bobby Lashley demolished Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin before delivering a 2-on-1 beatdown to Drew McIntyre alongside King Corbin. Clearly, a lot of changes took place, but on Twitter, MVP clarified things, saying the Hurt Business is still open for business, but that only he and Lashley are in the stable now, but they're scouting new members. MVP also explained that despite Corbin's help in trying to claim Lashley's offered WWE Championship match at WrestleMania, that the King isn't a member. Given how popular the stable has been since their debut, fans weren't fond of the group seemingly splitting earlier this week, and that includes a future Hall of Famer. On Twitter, Batista lashed out at WWE, asking who in their right mind would break up the Hurt Business, and answered his own question, saying no one. The Hurt Business is still open, but undergoing some major changes. And what do you think of these changes? Sound off in the comments. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.